What's happening YouTube? This is Champion 2D Rob back again. How's everybody doing? Yeah, this is going to be a gaming pickup video. It's been a while, I know. I was going to make this video a lot sooner, but I've been waiting for a couple of games and they've just taken a lot longer to arrive than I thought. So I was trying to just sort of hold back until those games arrived. But unfortunately those games have just been delayed, so I figured, I might as well just leave that now for the next video and just show you what I've got now. I've got a few bits and pieces here, guys. I was going to combine this with a Blu-rays pickup vid, but I didn't want to make this video too long because I've also got quite a few Blu-rays, so I figured I'll just make a separate video for that instead. I think it'll be better anyway. But yeah, so these last couple of months, pickup wise, I've not been going too crazy in terms of game buying. I actually been buying other stuff, some stuff towards YouTube, in fact. And you might have noticed the light is a little bit better, and that's because just over here I have a softbox, a light softbox, which now just gives the room a lot better lighting. I was really struggling with the lighting. In fact, this is the second version of this video I've made. I initially had another video ready to upload, but when I was watching it through, it was so dark and grainy. It was so crap. I just had to throw it away. I couldn't stand watching it, and if I can't stand watching the video, guys, I'm not going to subject you guys to watching it. So I figured I'd start again now with better lighting. But yeah, so games I've picked up the last couple of months, not been too much stuff. Like I said, just been focusing on buying other stuff, stuff I need, like non-gaming related stuff but essential items. This camera, for one, that I'm using is actually brand new. I'm just sort of trying to improve things a little bit. I'm just sort of getting annoyed from using my phone and stuff, just because my phone has very limited memory. And I know I could add a memory card to it and stuff, but I just don't like using my phone. I'd just rather just use a proper camera, because it's for the long run. It's not just for these sort of pickup videos. It's for other videos as well that I intend to do at some point in the future. But anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, games. So I've got a few games here, mostly modern stuff, although I do have a few retro titles. One I bought on eBay and some that I picked up at the London Retro Gaming Market. Now, speaking of the retro gaming market, now I already made a video sort of explaining about how my time went when I was there, but because we're focusing on the pickups, the first thing I'll get started on before I actually get to the games itself. Now, when I was there, when I first got to the market, sort of during the early part of the day, it was really packed. It was just crazy busy, and as I was sort of walking around and looking at stuff, there was nothing there that was really sort of catching my eye. And at this point in time, I kind of figured, in terms of buying stuff, I thought the day was going to be a washout. And all I managed to find, really, it wasn't even gaming related, was some Super Famicom box protectors, which I needed. Yeah, really good quality box protectors. This is from what is it called? Retro Empire UK, and the guy I got speaking to, the guy that sold me these, is a guy called Tom. And I got talking to him, and I was saying to him that I was after a box protector for my big box Super Metroid, because I've got all my Super Nintendo games boxed, minus that game, because unfortunately, because it's a much larger box, most sellers of box protectors don't seem to cater for it. And this guy, he actually does do box protectors not only for the regular sized games, but also for some big box variants, as well as consoles, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, etc. If you've seen Scott Sagan Saturn Lads video, he actually bought a few for his consoles, so he'll show you if you look on his video. But anyway, we got talking about Super Metroid, and he wasn't sure. He actually didn't have any specifically for Super Metroid, but he did have one that was sort of catered towards, I believe he said it was Mario Paint, and Lilac was. Now, I was unsure, he was unsure, but he kindly donated a case for me to try out that I would in turn let him know if it fit or not. And the one that he did give to me, unfortunately, did not fit. I mean, yeah, it doesn't fit at all. It's just basically it's too small across, and it's sort of like the case is sort of much wider, so it doesn't fit, unfortunately, which really sucks. I did get in touch with Tom and I let him know that it didn't fit, which is a shame. But hopefully someone out there, or Tom, you know, whether he'll opt to make one specifically for Super Metroid, it'd be awesome. But it was a shame. But hey, he donated it to me, so I didn't pay anything for it, because I believe these ones he was selling, I think it was £15 a pop for these big ones. I wasn't too sure. I can't remember what the price was, but yeah, you know, it's a shame. Anyway, moving on. The games I picked up. Now, after the sort of initial walk around during the early part of the day, myself and a few other YouTubers, itchy eye, myself and a few other YouTubers, we went off to the pub, and then we came back sort of in the sort of late afternoon, and I think it was only about an hour to go or so before they were due to close. And once we got in there, it was a lot quieter. It was much more chilled out. So I was sort of taking more of a leisurely stroll around. And fortunately, while I was looking around, I did find some games that I was after. Nothing amazing, nothing too crazy, but some retro games that I was actually looking for. So it was great to find them, and I got them for good prices as well. First game I picked up, and this is definitely one that I'm glad to add. It's for the Master System. In fact, all three of these games are Master System titles. The first one I picked up was Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse. A really nice condition. It says £7 there, but actually I haggled the lady, and she sold it to me for a fiver, and it is in lovely condition. Yeah, just really glad to get this one actually, because I remember playing this as a kid back in the day, but it was so long ago. I'm not too sure. Now I have Castle of Illusion on the Mega Drive. In fact, I've got pretty much all the Illusion games, barring Legend of Illusion on Game Gear. And yeah, I believe I read somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe this is actually not quite the same as the Mega Drive version. It's a little bit different. So I figured this is definitely worth picking up. As I know it's a well-regarded game on the Master System, and I'm interested to see what the difference is with compared to the Mega Drive version. So yeah, I picked that one up. And the next couple of games I actually bought from the same seller. And the first one I picked up, this is one that I was very curious to try out, because I've never ever played this game. In fact, this title or this particular licensed, I'd never played as a kid back in the day. Even though I had a Mega Drive, I was actually more familiar with the Super Nintendo version of the game. And the game I'm talking about is Aladdin. And this is one that I've been very curious to check out, and it's in nice condition. Yeah, I've wanted to check this one out. Now, I do own the Mega Drive version. It's a really good game. I'll always favour the Super Nintendo version, because that's the one that I grew up with, and it's the one that in fact, that game, the Super Nintendo version, is actually the only Super Nintendo game that I've actually fully completed. Well, okay, that's not true now. I've completed a few games since owning a Super Nintendo, but back in the day, that was probably the one Super Nintendo game I had completed as a kid, should I say. But anyway, yeah, I've always wanted to check out this game, and I actually believe this one was made. I can't remember the developer that made this game. It's quite a noteworthy developer, but I'm curious to see what this game is like. I'm hoping it's a good port of the game. It seems to be its own game. It's not just a cut down version of the Mega Drive one. At least that's what I'm thinking it is. But yeah, it was in really good nick, and well, there's some slight damage here at the top, but aside from that, it's in very nice nick. So I am chuffed to get that. But this game, I also picked up this one, which is Submarine Attack, and again, it's complete. And this one does have a bit more sort of edge wear at the bottom here. But this game is one I've been curious to try out. It's basically a shoot 'em up. It's like an underwater shoot 'em up. It's very similar to In the Hunt. If those that know that shooting game. But this obviously is not as good as In the Hunt. But yeah, it's just an interesting shooter. I've always wanted to play this game for the longest time. I've looked at this game quite a few times on eBay. And yeah, I saw it there. It was for a good price. I got both of these. I actually got both of these games for together for 15 quid, which I thought was a decent price. I think this one was going for about. I think this was selling for about 13 quid, and this was 8 quid. So I asked if he could knock some money off, and he did. So I got it for 15, which I thought was a good deal. So yeah, I'm chuffed with that. So that was basically all I picked up at the London Retro Gaming Market. Like I say, there wasn't a lot there that just appealed to me really. I mean, there was most of the stuff that I'd seen, I've already got, and the other stuff was like nothing really major. But these were some like a few gaps that I felt were in my Master System collection. I'm not really going for a Master System collection as such, but I like to pick up a few of the noteworthy games. Anyway, moving on, I do have one more retro title here, and this is an eBay pickup, and it's a Game Boy Advance game. Now, this is a title that I've been looking at for a while. I don't know why I never picked it up sooner, because it's cheap as chips nowadays, and it's a really good game. But the game I got is the Scorpion King, and it comes with a manual as well. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You guys might be thinking, why did you pick up the Scorpion King, Rob? What's so good about this game? Well, I'll tell you guys, this game was actually developed by WayForward Technologies. And if any of you guys watch my channel long enough, you'll know that I'm a big fan of that developer. They're known for making Contra 4 on the DS, as well as Batman Brave and the Bold. They also made the Shantae games, as well as other noteworthy 2D platform titles. DuckTales Remastered, and A Boy and His Blob on the Wii as well. And this game, despite the license, is actually a really well put together 2D side-scrolling action game. I mean, if you like games like Castlevania, this is definitely one worth picking up. Again, you just have to overlook the license, but it's just a really well made 2D action platformer. So if that genre is your bag, definitely pick up the Scorpion King, because it goes for pennies, and I think most people aren't even aware of it, because obviously the license is a big turn off. But definitely check it out, guys. It's a really good game. Okay, moving on. Last stack of games here. Now these are all PlayStation 4 titles, and yeah, PlayStation 4 has been awesome, and PlayStation 4 has been killing it as far as I'm concerned. There's been some great indie titles, as well as of course you've got your AAA titles. But yeah, some great stuff here. Now the first title I want to show you guys is one that I've already shown you guys before in a separate video. I actually did like an unwrapping video of this game, and that is the Rise of Tomb Raider 20th Anniversary Edition. And yeah, superb game. I completed it, really enjoyed it. Downside to this game, I think the storyline wasn't as good as I was expecting. I thought, I don't know, it's a bit too by the numbers, a bit too generic. But aside from that, the game is really well made. It's just a beautiful looking game as well. I mean, I thought Uncharted 4 was a really beautiful game. This is amazing. A lot of fun. Highly recommended. If you're into the Uncharted games, you're looking for something to do, you know, since between Uncharted titles, this is definitely worth checking out. Next title I got here, and this is something a little bit special. I actually picked this up I had to buy this on eBay. This is part of that limited run series, so it only got a physical release through the company Limited Run Games, which is like a sort of like a small indie studio that sort of select choice titles to put out in physical media, and they usually sell out very quickly. Now, this title I wasn't that familiar with at the time of its initial release, so I actually did have to go to eBay and pay over the odds for it, unfortunately. But it's a really good game, and the game I got was Shadow Complex Remastered. This is a really cool game. It's basically like a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania style of game, sort of exploration through like a map. It's really good, really cool game. I'm pretty much at the end of this game. I've played through most of it. I'm now like towards the end. It gets really hard very quickly, but it's a fantastic game. If you're into if you're into games like Super Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, games of that style, this is definitely worth checking out, guys. Whether you get a physical copy or a digital copy, it's definitely worth checking out. Next game I've got, and this is one that I'm currently playing at the moment, and that is The Order 1886. Yeah, I'm enjoying this game. I mean, I'm not that far into it. I'm only about, I'll say about a quarter of the way in. And it's a beautiful game, I have to say. I mean, this was a launch title and it looks amazing. It's definitely up there with the games that are coming out this year. Fantastically beautiful game. Great premise. I really hope this game gets a sequel. I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about the game itself because I'm still quite early into it, so I haven't fully given my I don't have my collected thoughts on this game just yet, but I like the premise, and what I've played of it so far is really cool. This is definitely one checking out, especially you can get it for quite cheap nowadays. It's a really cool game. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's that. Next title I've got here is Until Dawn. This is a game I've been meaning to get for a while. It's sort of like think games like Heavy Rain. It's like a horror game, horror sort of quick time events sort of title. It's still sealed. Haven't got around to playing it yet, but I look forward to checking this one out because I've heard nothing but great things. And next title I've got here is quite a curious game, and this one's called Dex. It's another indie title. This is basically sort of like a 2D side-scrolling, sprite-based action RPG. It's set like in a Blade Runner style cyberpunk future. If I was to compare this game to anything, think games like Shadowrun on the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive, except this is like a 2D perspective, 2D side-scrolling perspective, as opposed to sort of like a top-down perspective. You've got this character, you run around, you beat up, you shoot your opponents, but you also you can upgrade your abilities and stuff, so it's very RPG-like, even though it plays like an action platformer. Definitely worth checking out, guys. It's very cool. If you're into your 2D sprite-based gameplay, definitely worth a look. And the last game I picked up, this is the Metal Gear Solid 5. This is the definitive edition. This basically has got both Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5, I believe, on one disc. It's still sealed, haven't got around to trying it out yet. But I'm a massive Metal Gear fan, so I hadn't got around. I do own Ground Zeroes, but I'd not got around to getting Metal Gear Solid 5. So yeah, quite chuffed to pick this up, and I do look forward to playing this. Actually, I've been wanting to try this one out for a long time, so yeah, really looking forward to playing this as well. So that's it, guys. That's basically my pickups for the last few months. Like I said, I do have a few movie pickups as well. I'll probably do a separate vid for that. Sorry about the delay, guys. I was expecting a couple more games to arrive, but beyond my control, they haven't shown up, so I couldn't show you guys. And they're two games that I'm quite chuffed to get as well. Very excited for those titles. So I guess it'll have to be the new year before I show you guys what those games are. But anyway, guys, I think that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the delay in videos. It's mostly just been to sort of like technical difficulties and nonsense. I mean, I've been trying to upgrade my equipment, but also replacing stuff and trying to fix stuff. My computer bricked on me and I had to get it fixed and all sorts of nonsense. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Do really appreciate it. I'll be back very soon. I do plan on putting out some collection videos. I was going to do one coming up to Christmas, but I think I might leave it till January. But in any case, I'm thinking of doing one for the 3DS and one for the Game Boy Advance, or my boxed Game Boy Advance / Game Boy Color. So let me you guys let me know what you want to see first. You want to see my 3DS collection, or do you want to see my Game Boy Advance collection, all the box stuff? So yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments below, and of course let me know what your thoughts are as well. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, so I will be back very soon. Bye bye. Hey, what's up, guys? Champion TD Rob again. Just very quickly, I'm gonna insert this video in between in between the other pickups vid. So just a couple more games I wanted to show you guys very quickly here. A couple of 3DS games. I also picked up Sega 3D Classics. This is a really cool game. It basically has 9 games. The one I bought it for was for Power Drift, which is the arcade port, great racing game. You've also got Puyo Puyo 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, Fantasy Zone 2, Galaxy Force 2, Fantasy Zone 2, but like another version, and you've got Thunderblade and Maze Walder, I think it is. I suppose they've got a few other games as well. But yeah, it's really cool, really chuffed to get this. Quite difficult to find apparently. It's only available in Argos as far as I know. You can buy it on eBay, but it's a little bit more expensive. So if you're in the UK, you should get this at Argos. Yeah, chuffed to get this one. And the other game I picked up again for the 3DS, and that's Shantae's and the Pirate's Curse. Brilliant game. I'm almost to the end of this game actually. I've been playing it constantly. Really great 2D action platformer, again very much in the sort of Metroidvania, Castlevania style, Super Metroid, but much more cute-like. Fantastic game by WayForward Technologies, well worth checking out, guys, if you've got a 3DS. Brilliant game. So yeah, that's it, and I'm out. I'll just put this back in between the rest of the video. So thanks very much for watching, guys.